All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is 7:59 p.m. Eastern Time, and at 8 p.m. we are going to be rolling the layer for the 7th versus goal scrim today. A friendly matchup, but also a competitive one. Always a good thing to have different communities coming together to share their enjoyment of the game and test their skills against one another. You can see a lot of good luck, have funs, and best wishes in the all chat. And the layer rolls. It's my understanding that 7th Rangers will be playing first as the VDV, and Goal playing first as the Australian Defense Forces. Let's take a look here at the two factions and their team. So Goal is playing as the Australian Defense Force, 3rd Battalion, Royal Australian Regiment, which is the air assault unit. Main distinguishing factor for these factions is that they have 3 Helos, 30-minute delay tanks, as well as being pretty light on the vehicles. VDV, very similar, 3 MI8s. They have a Spret instead of a tank, or rather 2 Sprets with a 20-minute delay. And again, light on the vehicles. Now, we will be listening to the 7th Rangers command comms throughout this. Ooh, what is this going on?
Tell these two get over.
Weird artifact there. Hopefully that doesn't, hopefully that doesn't continue popping up. Alright, so let's just take a look at the command map. Alright, so of the 3 Helos on the 7th Ranger side, we have 1 pilot by Ennis Canada with the 7th Squad 9 mounted aboard. It looks like they will be landing in the vicinity of Sablya in anticipation of the middle cap. Now, we in Admin Cam can see all of these points on the map already, but remember, both teams cannot see any of these objectives except for their first caps right now. So 7th will be conducting the back cap on logging camp and trying to establish map control for the subsequent points, and Goal will be doing the same. Just taking a look here, I am seeing only 1 helicopter manned on their side. Oh, excuse me, that's 2 helicopters manned on their side, each with what looks like a 6-man squad aboard. So it looks like they will be a little bit heavier on the initial air assault. So my thought here is we'll be following Ennis Canada's helicopter during the first rollout just to see how their first pre-positioning goes and if it collides with the Goal Helos. So this, I think, is a great opportunity to see how organized teams can leverage those assets.
Let's fucking do this, boys.
All right, we're live, and the rollout is occurring for the 7th Rangers. You can see those BTR MDMs rolling out as the helicopters spin up on their helo pads. And it's Canada leading the flight section on the takeoff with a rifle squad on board. Silence and J Provo following behind. Now it sounds like they will be conducting reconnaissance as their primary mission here. You can see on the map their respective move marks are further on their side.
Coming right at me, my way. We'll see where he lands.
Yep, Ennis Canada, the pilot of the helicopter you see in your screen there, calling out that Gold Helo you can see up ahead.
Enemy helicopter is landing. We were gonna put
and that Gold Helo J-hooks conducting a landing. Goal has beaten 7th to the designated LZ. And now 7th is left to adapt. You can see that door gunner engaging that Goal infantry in the field, trying to cause as many casualties as they can. But that Goal Helo will be able to pull out of there safely while that infantry finds cover and concealment. So, Ennis Canada is headed up, looks like to the north, to find an alternate landing zone. Let's take a look at this Goal infantry, see what they're up to. I wonder if they're dropping any HABs or radios. At the time being, it's probably a little too early to do so. They may be dropping a rally at most. They're just looking to establish map control over this part, over this area.
Prevent your move Mark 2 to get those infantry out.
We're going to briefly hop down to the south side of the map at Chernikov, where the 7th Rangers have a squad positioning forward to disrupt Goal's back cap.
Front, front, front!
Back up, back up, back up.
You can see they take contact here, running into the Goal element that was moving up in preparation for the capture point.
Go, 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 go.
Contact, Chernikov.
And while that's going on, we're going to hop back into Ennis Canada's Helo, who we watched abort his landing at the beginning of the match. He still has a full squad on board, and now he's making his approach to drop those troops off to back up the command squad. You can see the LZ is cleared, the pilot touches down without incident, and the infantry piles out to join the fight. Back with the command squad, we're seeing some heavy action. They've taken a couple of casualties, but nothing decisive as of yet.
Right side, west, south.
Hey, don't give up on that west bridge. You gotta cover that west bridge, Fuzz.
We got it. 50 cal.
Alright, let's take a look at the command map, guys, and just get an overlook of the situation. So 7th has completed the back half of logging camp, while Goal has completed the back half of pipeline. 7th has a squad forward deployed. Squad 9 here near Chernikov Bridge. Derevnia is being capped by 7th.
If it goes south, I'm gonna need you. If it goes
Squad
west or north, we
6.
got it.
And it looks like Goal is currently moving a logi full of personnel forward to Cap Fortress. And this is the 7th, the VDV Squad 9 you saw by Chernikov Bridge. And you can see here that 7th has managed to establish control over Chernikov. There's what appears to be a destroyed Australian PMV in the screen. However, the actual objective here is Chernikov Bridge, not the town of Chernikov. So things aren't as one-sided as they may seem.
It's going west. It's going west.
Tickets are already 289 to 261. 7th Command Comms calling that the points are moving
I got
west.
third if you guys want to back up.
So you can see here in the middle of the map, there is this big body of water dividing Black Coast into west and east. Alright, so the points, which side the points go is a major determining factor for positioning. Now 7th is calling out that they do see the points going west, and you see all these squads here moving to capture Fortified Farm. 7th has already set a radio on Fortified Farm. You have the VDV Squad 8 here.
Copy, down by Chernikov.
Now taking a look here at the map. Chernikov Bridge was being captured by the Australian team, but it looks like 7th Squad 9 as well as the command squad was able to stop that back cap. So Goal's back capture has been stalled. Let's go and teleport there.
Hold on, Duck. Hold your position. Pick those guys up down there. We're gonna all get in one vehicle. We can't get these guys out here as well. We got her down.
No idea where he is. Look around for him.
On the bridge, on the west bridge, infantry crossing left side left. Fuck. Fucking assault these. Go south. You want to go south bridge? West bridge, one vehicle, one friendly vehicle down.
It looks like Goal, the Australian team, has managed to capture Chernikov Bridge despite the presence of these VDV infantry squads here. And now their efforts will be moving on to securing Sablya, while the 7th captures Fortified Farm. So the middle cap is Sablya. So Goal will establish control over the mid cap, leaving the 7th Rangers with only the 3rd cap. Looks like the VDV infantry back here, backing off a little bit as a helicopter has rolled in to pick up the command squad. And that infantry is just making a short hop across that body of water to land that infantry right on this shoreline. A 3-man element quickly dismounting and moving into the tree line. A rally being dropped by Slate, maybe a little bit close to the road to be burnt incidentally by passing vehicles, but better to have it down than not down at all. And here we are back with Ennis Canada. You can see Jay Provo's Helo we were just following on the right side of the screen. This time Ennis Canada is picking up the same Squad 9 he just dropped off at Chernikov. And good LZ selection makes this a smooth pickup to reposition that rifle squad. And here we have the Australian HAB, which has been established for the defense of Sablya. It stands to reason that the Australian team will be settling in for the defense here. The 7th Rangers, meanwhile, will be organizing themselves for a coordinated team-wide push to take that mid-cap point. You have Jay Provo conducting resupply flights for the 7th Rangers radio. for the defense of Fortified Farm. The Rangers, the 7th, has opted for an on-cap fob with the radio and Hab on the capture point, and they're spreading out. Not quite maybe to the east, but in a defense in depth will be critical to making this setup work. Whereas Gold has opted for an off-cap Hab and radio. They're separating the radio and the Hab by as much distance as possible, and the Hab itself is off of the point. It'd be very good if you manage to keep the radio and Hab location concealed, but once it's discovered, it will force them to divide their efforts to defend 3 different locations. And speaking of that radio, check out where Anna's Canada is dropping off Squad 9, just to the west of it. You can see the pilot maneuvering his way around some trees and a water tower before settling into the landing.
I'm landing here with
It definitely looks like we'll get some interesting action in that area soon. Now I am hearing some firefights over here down south by the goal radio. Let's go down and take a look at that.
We're on enemy radio at 996. Disregard.
Thomas the Train taken down.
112-ish.
Katzmer prone. You can see that Australian infantry moving left to right, and one prone next to him. Katzmer does not seem to see him. They're getting engaged. The game Teehee getting shot.
All 3 volleys are out, so you can push anywhere to switch.
He's prone.
Both Australian players splitting off. Katzmer catches Waffle Lover. K-Drake. Will he be able to get the spot?
099 from my position.
Bloodham getting popped by Moist Fusion over on the right side of the screen, leaving just K-Drake, it looks like.
Infantry map king form has been worked out.
Behind me, I think.
Cats, can you pick me up?
Nope, being shot close behind.
Katzmer able to take out that flanking Australian infantryman. I'm not Joel.
Don't know if I killed him, we just hit him. Gotta fall back or something.
But he's unsure if he got the kill or not, so he falls back. Oh, but here's another Australian. It looks like Pouch comes up. Oh, Jouch rather comes up behind him, takes down Katzmer. More infantry coming up behind this squad. It is just now Moist Fusion left alone.
One fob here, or do you want more?
Need to set up a backup if we can. Be smart about it.
Now, Moist Fusion is caught in a dilemma. He wants to stay hidden, but he also needs to engage these infantrymen. He misses his shot there, and misses more shots. That is very bad for him. Although he has tagged him, he's now revealed his location without getting any kills. And this infantry over to his right side, right in front of the screen, knows his location. Oh, and Moist Fusion goes down to a grenade. And while that was happening, you probably heard the airstrike occur in the background. So let's take a look at the victim's perspective of that.
Tracer, I got it.
And that was about all the damage it did.
They hit our mortars, that's the only thing they hit. Hab is still perfect.
In the meantime, it looks like the 7th Rangers have found the Australian radio. And they are currently working on digging it down. Oh wait, there is an Australian on the radio digging it down.
Hey, we got
Oh my. Okay, so all the 7th Rangers that were on the radio have been taken out, and the Australians are currently digging down their own radio to replace it because it has been compromised. But you still have 2 7th Rangers here, 2 VDV riflemen, Codex and Kratos,
coming up,
very patiently crawling up. Codex getting compromised, getting ran up on. They're left with little choice but to quickly move into action now. Gortzcock runs up, takes out Codex, but Kratos is able to get the refrag. It is just him and him alone now, trying to deal with this radio.
Hey, there's a 80% chance of the next point's on the east side of the river. Are we gonna go to Chernikov?
And Kratos also gets taken out by the goal infantryman.
Do you still hear the radio?
Leapfrogging. My guys
and Codex confirming whether that radio is still there. The Australian team obviously has digging that radio down, so a missed opportunity for the 7th Rangers. Alright, we're going to go back to the map here just to take a look. It looks like Fortified Farm has a couple of defense squads here. They're not being pushed, but they have a couple of mortars providing fire support to the attacking squads. We currently have the command squad led by Slate pushing into the point. So let's take a look at that action over there. It looks like the Russians have managed to gain a foothold on this building, but as you can see from the bullet holes in the wall, they are being engaged by an enemy machine gun somewhere across the field. Let's see if we can get a spot on them.
Hey, gun up door, gun up door, gun up door.
Yep, it's up. Keep.
Oh, never mind.
I'm not able to see them.
9, small, look, we need a hot drop 9 right on us. If we can, hot drop 9 right on the 3 diamond.
Alright, so the commander calling a hot drop for squad 9 right on top of them.
Are you sure
That will be a very risky
Jungle
move.
ran one off, the one to the west is moving south. You got a window, short window.
Alright, so it looks like Ennis Canada's helicopter in Maine has loaded up
I need you.
some infantrymen. And Slate is calling for a hot drop here, right in this clearing it looks like. But there is a lot of Australian infantry, making this a very dangerous move to make. Slate obviously thinking that there's a window.
Hey, Silence. Just start transiting. I need you to put eyes on one move. I'm gonna land there.
And here we are on board with Ennis Canada. You heard him talking to a different Helo pilot by the name of Silence to try and get eyes on the LZ ahead of his arrival to make sure that it's clear.
Yep.
Alright, so this is gonna be Bravo getting out.
South. You're not gonna be able to, it's too hot now.
Yeah, you're staying in.
Overshooting.
Due to a hot LZ, the landing is aborted, but the pilot circles around to an alternate LZ further to the north. And here he is on the approach. You can see that friendly Tiger on the lower left of the screen, securing the LZ ahead of the Helo. They make a safe landing and the infantry piles out, but the pilot hovers low behind this house to enable Squad 9 leader Angel to place a radio.
Putting that radio down?
But it looks like they need to scoot a little further south to get out of a different radio's exclusion zone, forcing Ennis Canada to hover higher in an exposed position. Again, Silence the other Helo pilot being relied on to provide overwatch from the skies. And Angel places the radio. Ennis Canada quickly unloads the supplies for a Hab before dipping his nose to get out of there.
Not ideal. I think they might have seen it, so just be careful.
And the pilot not happy with how that insertion went. We're going to swap perspectives to Silence, who spots a logistics truck as Ennis Canada pulls out. There's the door gunner engaging as Silence flies a circular attack pattern. The gunner reloads his belt, but loses sight of the truck.
Tim?
He was parked in a tree. I don't know if I killed the driver or what.
Holy fuck! Jesus Christ, dude. One of their helis almost just rammed me. That was fucking close.
In the meantime, you can see on the map, north of Fortified Farm, we have a Australian infantry element looking to sneak up on this point from the north side. Let's take a look. Now, this squad does not have any means to place down a radio and a Hab, so they will be fighting off a rally. It looks like they're sneaking around, and they're about to come face to face with some Russian defenders in the tree line up ahead. Clover taking contact, takes out Big Red on the defense, and now the Russians are very aware that they are currently being attacked from this angle. In the meantime, back on the midpoint, Sablya, the 7th Rangers attack has been wiped out.
Oh, fuck me. They are in the tree line to the north side.
Clover trying to load up an HE rocket, but gets tapped and taken out by that attacking infantry. Now that was to the northeast of Fortified Farm. To the northwest, there's a simultaneous attack being conducted by the Australian team. Here we have Schmeep from Dagger Squad on the outer defense.
Dark, keep that position held. Make sure they don't come in behind us.
He's directly on Bravo. Got it.
So the Australians putting pressure on the Russian defense point, being of course very good to lock down defenders who are thus made unavailable for an attack. Looking up at the top right corner of the screen, you can see the tickets are 281 to 284. Very even, despite the mid-cap advantage that the Australian team had. So it looks like The engagements have been favoring the 7th Rangers in a very, very minor way. Probably not going to be super decisive unless this trend continues.
Exited their main.
They're pushing the route.
Accurate on F10.
I think he tucked in behind you. We never saw him. He went inside.
He got me. He got me. He's inside.
There's one in there. One's still alive. Got the secondary. I'm bleeding.
Wait. Frag out.
Copy.
In the windows.
Are they in this yellow building?
I killed 2.
Yeah, not anymore.
Hang on. Another frag and then I'm done.
I'm bleeding still, Pancake.
You can see I'm not Joel inside this house, right next to some Russian infantry. Bot Ken running up behind Pancake Man.
On me! Behind you! Southeast!
Oh, there's nothing but a bush that separates, and a fence that separates them. Will they? Okay, Pancake looks like he was aware of Bot Ken's presence. There's no way he didn't hear him. But neither seems pretty interested in fighting the other. Jungle Snot crawling through the grass here.
Putting that radio down?
You have Jouch nearby. Oh, Jungle Snot needs to be careful that his legs don't clip through the walls. Oops, some supporting machine gun fire coming down from the Australian PMV into the house. He's shooting the wrong location though. Pancake Man engaging more Australian infantry. He decides to reposition here. Oh, and a Russian infantryman, Australian infantryman goes down. Pancake Man takes out I'm Not Joel from inside that house. And then he finds a safe corner to reload. You can see Fish pushing up on that house, knowing that Pancake Man is inside there.
They're pushing the doorway.
And Fuzzball calling out that they're being pushed, but looks like he gets taken out from outside by Fifth, F-I-T-H. And that Russian attack has been wiped out. Tickets are now 276 to 280. Alright, so let's look at Fortified Farm and how that Australian attack is going for them. Looks like they were able to make progress. They have... This is either the same element or a new element coming in from a new angle. Okay, so the first engagement that we saw earlier here is still ongoing. Both sides with casualties. The Russians able to revive theirs here. You can see Clover, who we saw get hit, currently being revived by Justin Oaktree. Dark Sniper here, taking cover behind a tree as he gets tagged.
Right now.
The Australian infantry unable to move, unable to advance as they are currently in covered positions. Looks like it's just Chad Guevara who is up, with the rest of his teammates there currently down. In the meantime, we have a fire team size element of Russians over here on the southwest side of the point. A lone Australian named Panic at the Disco, being very stealthy and sneaky. Prone in the forest. He seems to have eyes on Army of Fools. Army of Fools, in turn, not looking in the right direction.
Is there an infantry guy that can jump in?
Panic at the Disco decides to engage, misses his shot, so Army of Fools will live, takes cover behind a tree. Meanwhile, on the right side of the screen, you can see Mossberg moving in to engage. Does he have eyes on him? Yes, he does. Nope, not quite, maybe. Army of Fools laying down suppressive fire while Mossberg scans left to right the tree line to look for Panic at the Disco. Oh, Mossberg seems to have acquired his target. Nope. He continues to scan, does not get sight of him.
Alright, they're digging down a radio on Gulf 7 already, so we gotta defend that and figure out a different place.
Let's go over to Mossberg's position and see what kind of a sightline he has.
If we can get them, dig it down, and we'll put one down here on the shore.
He could conceivably see Panic at the Disco.
I don't want to give up a bunch of fucking radios.
He thinks he sees him now. He does get eyes on, engages, and is able to get the kill on Panic at the Disco. Very close fight there as Panic at the Disco started firing back, but he was not able to hit Mossberg at all.
I recommend dig down Gulf 7.
So both teams focusing on the defense here. Fortified Farm obviously not in danger of falling at any point. And the Russian attack on Sablya has not been able to make any ground, especially as they are primarily fighting from rallies. Oh, but it looks like the Australian radio is currently in danger. And this is where Future Dance will interject to interrupt Past Dance. When live, I thought this was an Australian defense radio, when it was in fact a Russian attack radio, which we saw placed with NS Canada's Helo earlier. So for your reference, this radio is removed by the Russians for no ticket loss. Back to the action.
We're gonna go for train.
I need field dressing right here. I'm about to
And working.
Unfortunately, we arrived a little too late to see what happened to that radio, whether it was dug down or destroyed. But judging from the tickets, which are currently 264 to 270, I would venture to guess that the Australian team was able to dig down that radio. Otherwise, they would have lost 20 tickets. The 7th Rangers now in a 10-ticket deficit. Excuse me, 8-ticket deficit, so the game is still very close here.
Did we dig our radio down or did they get it?
Dude, we dug it down.
I gotta come back and fucking...
I don't think it's the worst idea, to be honest with you.
Field dressing.
We dug it fucking down.
Back on the southwest side of Fortified Farm, it looks like this fire team has mostly cleaned up this forest, and there are no enemies that they have to contend with.
Secured the area down south, I'm gonna roll it in.
And similarly here to the northwest side of the point, on the map, I'm seeing just a lone Australian infantryman who is left.
Scorpion, make sure
A
you let us
medic
know
by
when
the name
those
of
Abrams
Hamster, prone in the grass by the road.
They should have just gotten up.
Now Clover looks to be roughly looking in his direction. Ooh, but someone was able to get the spot on him and get a headshot, dropping Hamster in a single shot. I think that was Clover, or rather, that was probably JC, now that I think about it. You can see JC with a pretty dominating position over there up on the hilltop. And that will clean up the last of the Australian attackers on Fortified Farm. We are taking a look here at the Russian mortars currently supporting the 7th Rangers attack on Sablya. The ticket gap has grown for the 7th Rangers with 253 to 265. 12 ticket deficit. Obviously, something that could change at a moment's notice, but that increasing trend could be a good thing for goal. Let's follow the helicopters, see what they're up to. Right now I'm seeing Silence piloting a Russian Mi-8 with Sweepo available as door gunner, flying over the battlefield, conducting reconnaissance, trying to make as many good callouts for their team as possible. Probably also spotting for those mortars, making sure they are on target.
2 PMVs to the southwest of Sablya.
You can hear the Russian pilot calling out 2 Australian PMVs southwest of Sablya. In the meantime, you can see the Australian Squad 9 pushing out to that shoreline where we saw the Russian commander make landfall at the very beginning. So they're conducting a very good active defense, making sure that no radio or HAB was established in this area. In the meantime, looking at grid square E8, let's hop over there. Looks like the Russian team has established a radio and are now looking to build a HAB here for attacking Sablya. In the meantime, they have ears on the Australian tank, that M1A1 Abrams being called out. Now, as the tanks enter the picture, this match will evolve as both teams will have the pushing power of the armor available to them. Now, the VDV team has 2 Spruts instead of 1 tank. And here we have eyes on the VDV Spruts running together as a wolf pack. Coordination between these 2 vehicles will be extremely important if they're going to establish armor dominance. Those Spruts, obviously, despite having a pretty powerful main cannon, are very light armored.
Got fire team element down on 5 move.
And now we're going to hop back over to where the Abrams was, but from the perspective of Kratos, a hack gunner with Squad 9.
Eyes on tank, 35 meters from Kratos.
Kratos takes his time to line up his shot, but once he fires, lands a hit on the track, and he immediately takes cover.
Run north. Southeast, sorry. Run southeast. Tank is tracked.
Oh, in the meantime, it looks like the Russian infantry is currently engaging the Australian Abrams. The Australian Abrams, it looks like, has been tracked. It is now immobilized and thus not able to run anywhere. It is vulnerable
I don't know if you have a shot on that.
to a hit. A lat hit coming out, keeping that tank tracked. You can see one of the Abrams crewmen hopping out to conduct a repair, while you have a third crewman in that commander's RWS maintaining suppressive fire against the infantry. Kratos, that hat gunner, coming out, getting another hit on that Abrams.
Ammo crate. In the back right here.
You can see that fire.
If you keep that tank turret to the south, we'll come up from the north.
However, that Australian crewman that is on the outside conducting those repairs,
One reflex on tank.
desperately trying to save the tank as that Russian infantry continues to pour AT shots in. Kratos looks like he's rearmed. He's coming out for another shot. Gets another mat in, and the tank blows up. That Abrams is down, and you can see, oh, the PMVs come in trying to help their tank, but it was too late, and you can see further down that road, it looks like the VDV Spruts had popped out to try and get shots on that tank. Texas Assassin and Logan currently getting swarmed by Australian infantry as they are on fire. They're trailing a smoke screen behind them as they're trying to desperately escape this situation, but no, they're unable to get out in time. Texas Assassins succumbing to the flames, and the Sprut itself blowing up as they're unable to extinguish that fire. However, trading an Abrams for a Sprut, I would say, is a point in the Russian team's favor. Tickets are currently 233 to 244, so if anything, it was a well-needed break for the Russian team to try and get even and positive with the ticket count. We have the second Sprut here, sitting in this field, standing for Australian infantry. That 125mm cannon firing HE shells at this infantry, currently prone inside a death blade. Oh, and it looks like we have artillery dropping down. That is Australian artillery currently being dropped on Fortified Farm, and that VDV infantry is going to scramble for cover. And it looks like the Australians have opted to use a static barrage on point. The static barrage does not seem terribly concentrated. I'm not sure if this was a preparatory bombardment for a coordinated push. I'm not seeing any Australian infantry in position to conduct an offensive, except maybe Squad 5, but a single squad push is going to be tough to execute. And that artillery barrage did very little damage. Now, I wonder... Oh, let's take a look at the map here, guys. Look at this. The Russian team is dropping a creeping barrage on Sablya, currently going to progress from the southwest to the northeast. They have a radio and a HAB, but it looks like it has been compromised, and you can see Amsel here digging down that HAB, making sure they don't lose those tickets as that HAB is disabled. And Squad 9 will be following on the heels of that creeping barrage to try and get a foothold into Sablya. In the meantime, you can see the command squad looking to conduct an offensive from the north side of Sablya. Squad 4, Silence and Sleepo in that helicopter in the MI8 conducting constant reconnaissance flights. You can see them above us, feeding that information to the attack team. So let's take a look at the goal defense here. They've got a lot of infantry set up here. That creeping barrage, absolutely devastating, drops in through the point here. You have some individual infantry in 1s and 2s scattered throughout this tree line, so they will be able to call out any major push before it is able to get close to Sablya. You have Mesuchi prone in this ditch.
They're fucking good though. They had it.
Oh, and he pops out, catches sight, drops back down, gets spotted. He is engaged. Codex looks at Masucci, engages him. It looks like Katzmer was able to get him down. This infantry is going to be on the move, following behind that artillery. Now, that artillery itself, obviously, doesn't seem to have quite done the amount of casualties that you would want it to. It has now telegraphed the attack that the Russian infantry will be conducting. However, this attack is a two-pronged attack. Look, we have what looks like a pincer maneuver with the command squad coming in from the north. Just making sure I keep tabs on the rest of the map here, as the fortified farm defense point looks fine. We have a 3-man Australian element looking to find and destroy this backup hab and radio here placed by the Russian team.
Bring him over fortified.
In the meantime, we have Squad 9 making rapid progress on the southwest side of the point.
I just got shot at by a tow missile. I'm trying to locate the smoke right now.
Ocho Cinco leading the charge for the northern pincer of the attack. You have Bloodhand here. Seems to have caught inside of him, peeking out through that window. Ocho, better be careful there, man. Oh, he takes a shot, but the shot misses. He crouches, not able to take cover in time. But it looks like Frosty and Pancake were able to catch sight of that fire. Immediately suppresses him. You can see Pancake Man moving for an immediate revive on Ocho Cinco. Frosty looking to advance on this house to try and get some kills here. Runs into K-Drake immediately. Frosty going prone, does not get hit. He's now waiting for K-Drake to reveal himself.
Put the Helo directly on the point here.
Frosty does not see K-Drake. And Frosty climbs back up to his feet, runs back, and moves for a flank. Very lucky there, as K-Drake missed his shots on Frosty. K-Drake moves on, trying to get inside this house. Alright, Frosty's moving to reposition here. It looks like Pancake got pushed up on. Russian infantry throwing grenades. We can see I'm Not Joel here has taken a position behind this building. Jungle Snot dropping bot 10 inside of this structure. Botcan looks like he was a little bit isolated.
Absolutely.
Hey, move into Sablya. We're taking it. If you can get in the cap zone.
In the meantime, you can see Squad 9 has managed to get into the capture zone of Sablya from the southwest side. Mortars coming in. Kratos gets downed by one of the mortars. Codex taking cover.
Earth Canada, we'll get ready.
Meanwhile, you have Russian infantry swarming around. Katzmer. Oh, posted up around the corner. Takes out Scorched Crook.
Anticipate Chernikov for the next point if we're taking it.
Here we have Morse Fusion clearing the second story of this house. He gets dropped. Second floor not clear, he calls out, as we have 2 Australian infantrymen on the second floor. They're watching the stairs. Meanwhile, Katzmer bandaging on the first floor.
How many squads are you taking in?
None.
Break off a fire team.
Katzmer is alone in this house, and he looks like he's tempted to conduct a push in here.
Got you.
Oh, Katzmer runs headlong into an Australian hat, drops him. He's going to peek that surface now. Oh, but he gets hit and taken out. Going back to the northern push, I can see Slimer, Frosty, and Duck all taken out here as the Australian infantry is occupying this house. We have Ocho Cinco and Robzilla moving up. Ocho Cinco drops down. Major pain. What? Major pain. Major pain. I get it.
Send it.
Keeping tabs on the defense point here. Fortified farm. Nothing is happening over there. All of the action is currently in Sablya, but the Russian attack is losing steam now as the casualties pile up. 7th Rangers is going to have to send on follow-on forces if they want to maintain this momentum. They had a great opportunity to begin taking the points. Ooh, a Australian machine gun engaging Beridan. Codex looks like from the western side, or eastern side rather. A withering storm of fire coming over Beridan's head as he lays prone. That seems to be Waffle Lover laying down that machine gun fire there. Codex? From the PMV.
I don't know.
Open top PMV.
I'm gonna get. They're looking. I don't know if I can get.
I should be able to.
So Codex and Beridan trying to solve this problem here. We have the VDV BRDM currently on the point, assisting. It looks like it has been engined though, and Texas Assassin killed outside of the vehicle trying to conduct a revive. It is just Voxland inside that turret, providing as much fire support as it can. Russian mortars coming in, laying down a smoke screen on point, as that northern attack from the Russian team has not yet been destroyed. They're continuing to push, but the southwestern penetration that happened initially has been wiped out, and now it's just a sea of red Australians on Sablya. The VDV will have to readjust their attack here as new battle lines have been drawn, and it looks like the Gol Australians have stabilized this situation for now. Sablya is not being captured by the 7th Rangers Russians. However, they still do have this attack radio up. Will they be placing a new closer attack cab to push Sablya? So while the Australian attention is currently being pulled to the north here, it looks like the main thrust of the attack is being set up to come again once again from the southwest. And we're going to take a quick break from the major action to show you one of the funniest moments to come out of this match. This is the perspective of Sweepo, who is currently Silence's door gunner. You can see in the lower right that he's been expending a lot of ammo and only has a couple of shots left. So Silence finds himself sandwiched between two enemy helicopters here.
We have another helicopter, 4 o'clock.
Got it.
Coming right towards us.
Got cannon in there. I hope none of these guys saw.
And as one of the Australian helos comes into Sweepo's view, he sights in on him, waiting for the right time to shoot.
Oh, it was one bullet. Oh shit, what the fuck?
Here's an instant replay for your benefit. It was in fact a Cornet missile fired from Fortified Farm that got that kill, not a silver bullet from
that was me.
West. I'm seeing a mixed squad, a mixed element of hodgepodge units. One fire team from what in the 7th we call Dagger Squad, and Katzmer, one member from what we call Cerberus Squad, moving up on Sablya from the southwest. Taking it nice and slow.
Go across the road and head straight to this green house. We have a lot of cover right here.
Main heli's down.
Oh yeah, just saw one running.
Good fucking shot.
Just to your right.
Yeah.
This VDV element taking care to carefully plan their approach. However, there is a flanking Australian MG that engages them.
147, yeah. Got her.
Nobody seems to quite know where that fire is coming from.
I don't have
They don't know if it's the PMV shooting at them. It's not the PMV. It's two infantry standing next to the PMV. That Grenadier laying down HE fire. Army of Fools moving in to try and bandage and heal Dark Sniper as they get tagged by that HE frag. Let's go back to the leading elements of this push. Mossberg pushing up alone. He's creeping through this trench here.
HE smoke on point.
The mortar's asking if the commander needs HE or smoke on the point. And it looks like the northern attack here by the Russian team has run out of steam as the Australians push up and wipe them out. Jungle Snout, the last survivor there, getting taken out by Jouch. Nope, Slimerk is still up from this squad. Oh, but Slimerk taken out by the Australians. Oh, no, Slimerk is still up. I'm doing a very great job of commentary. Slimerk engaging with his pistol at close range, taking out Joel. But Squid comes running up those stairs and sprays down Slimerk with fully automatic fire.
Good shot. Secondary heli down.
And yes, you heard that right. There's a second Australian helo downed. You can see a near miss from the Cornet from the perspective of Ziggy Alpha, who is the gunner for one of the Spruts, and he takes a shot, misses, and continues to track the helo during the reload.
Oh, I got him.
More smokes dropping in. Mossberg currently alone right now, having made a deep penetration into the Australian lines. Looks like he has taken out Matt Muzi. Oh, an Australian frag grenade comes in. Mossberg sees it at the last second, runs away. He gets tagged. And you have Maple pushing up in his face. Mossberg bandaging. Maple not pushing aggressively. He's running up now on Mossberg. Mossberg not looking in the right way. He gets gunned down by Maple. We have Kratos running across the street here trying to deal with this Australian infantry by the PMV. Kratos and Voxlin calling out that this building is clear, but there is still one Australian outside. Damon.
Yep.
He peeks through that window.
5, get you guys on the cap. Everybody to the Sablya cap.
Voxlin coming out the door just as Damon rounds that corner. Guns down Voxlin.
Oh fuck, Kratos.
2 Australians still outside in the vicinity of this house. And they're now able to get shots on this infantry moving up north. Lots of smoke here as they're trying to push up into Sablya, but it looks like they're caught inside a kill box. This flanking defensive position by the Australians really causing a lot of pain for the Russians.
There's a fire keep pushing in the 5 to 10
You have Kratos and Codex running up here. Nobody able to see this infantry hiding underneath the PMB.
Yeah, I got the Grenadier.
Kratos guns down Damon. Oh, look at this! K-Drake conducting a revive right underneath Codex's nose. Codex, do you not hear this? Do you not hear the bandages being ripped? K-Drake and Redhead getting up. Oh, nope. Codex does not see him. There is a whole fence between them.
He glitched in. He's between the vehicles.
Some close range fire being created between the two. Codex gets hit by flanking fire, but Kratos is able to take down Codex.
Yeah, I'm gonna get Codex up here.
Redhead is still up though.
What the fuck? Yeah, they're coming from the east.
And you
now,
can
too,
see
Vox.
here, it looks like Destroyer of Will, the guy that took out Codex, also takes out Kratos, as neither of them were aware that there was another Australian further back behind the house.
Shift mortars, HE, 3 diamond.
And we're going to rejoin Fuzzball for his perspective of this southern attack.
We gotta get to the point.
Behind us.
A lot of gunfire ahead of him, so Fuzzball switches to his HE frag RPG, and he fires at that house to try and hit any Australians in the defilade ahead.
We can't cross the road anymore. Hold us down.
Oh, he's down. Fuck.
Some full auto fire exchange there, and he's able to secure the kill. He continues to clear the area before turning back around. And here he sees a lot of friendly casualties and calls for a medic.
Rob, get in here!
They're coming from that direction.
And zooming in here, you can see a small cluster of blue. No matter how many people are inside that cluster, they are not spread out enough to be an effective fighting unit, and most of them are dead bodies. What happened here?
Don't
worry about it. Just get everybody out.
And the 7th Rangers, we have a saying, dead bodies attract more dead bodies, and that proves to be true in this attack being conducted by the Russians. Now, let's take a quick look at Fortified Farm. Very quiet and peaceful. Let's take a look at them. So the Mortarmen, just about the only guys who have anything to do here, as the rest of the players here. Rainman, Tracer manning the toe. King, Snake, Ace of Spades. This is Templar Squad and the 7th Rangers with a very good spread, making sure that they don't get attacked from any direction. Having a pretty quiet game at this stage. And one fire team, a Dagger Squad, JC the Lime, Just an Oak Tree, Clover, holding this southwestern forest, making sure no enemy habs or radios are placed there. Looking at the tickets though, it is 187 to 174 in the 7th Rangers' favor, so it looks like while being on the attack, they were able to trade pretty favorably. You can see Silence and Sweepo Depot in the MI8 strafing Sablya with that door gun. And a static artillery barrage being dropped on Sablya. Not sure by which team. At this point, everything is so clustered together that you just couldn't tell, but it would not surprise me if this was an Australian bombardment conducted to try and wipe out any attackers approaching from the southwest. And speaking of the southwest, here's some footage of Ennis Canada doing a sneaky resupply of that Russian attack radio. He makes a very low approach, below treetop level, to just reach that very edge of the fob radius. and he unloads a full load of ammo before pitching down to get out of there.
Oh, that's dope. They didn't. That wouldn't have given away that fob at all.
In the meantime, we're going to dive right into the middle of the action with Schmeep, who has joined the main attack on Sablya.
They're getting in the trench we were just in, Moss. They're getting in the trench we were just in.
Copy.
He calls out enemies in a neighboring trench, so he moves with Mossberg to clear it out.
I got him.
But in the neighboring house, we have Schmeep. And just a floor below him is a fireteam-sized element of Australians conducting revives. Schmeep in survival mode. Oh! Takes out Major Payne, who runs unknowingly headlong into his gun.
Hey, don't run straight
Solomon
from the hat
Kane
to the point. That'll
looks like
give
he's
it
prepping
away.
a grenade. Oh, but he's able to gun down him before he throws the grenade, and that grenade drops.
Their Abrams should be up now.
Or rather, he was able to throw it, it looks like. Where are the keys? Immediately popping upstairs to drag back Solomon Kane, while Schmeep has fallen back one compartment. Jouch throws another grenade, and he pushes right after that grenade detonates, pre-firing that corner. Schmeep waiting for him on the next room. Jouch gets taken. Oh no, and the two trade. Jouch, not knowing if he traded or not, has his teammates come up, and they verify that Schmeep is down. 7th Rangers launching a fresh respawn wave to attack Sablya, and their ticket advantage has burned away, with the tickets being 170 to 174. And it looks like what was once a very dynamic offensive is now slowly settling down into a slow grind. You can see a handful of Australians holding this tree line, with very static positions being held by all infantrymen. Oh, Kratos getting tapped in the head by Kobat Thor? Kobat Thor.
If you can do another run that has some build on it, we'll just kill this half and replace it. The radio's so good.
Duck is able to get eyes on some Australian infantry.
They've lost 2 helicopters. We haven't lost any at this point.
And the Australian team being called out as having lost 2 helicopters, action that we missed. A withering storm of fire being exchanged. Army of Fools goes down to Pseudonym, or Hamster. I can't tell, man.
I got one right on top of me.
Mossberg calling out. He has footsteps on top of him. That Australian gets engaging Codex, taking out Codex. Dark Sniper running up. Trades with Squid.
Bro, they're everywhere.
And it looks like the bulk of this infantry push is currently down. However, here on the eastern side, we still have Fuzzball, Frosty, and Duck, who seems to have found a way through the Australian defense, making their way north across the train tracks. But Fuzzball taking shots from his east. He goes prone in the street, does not know that Scorched Crook is right next to him on the other side of this fence.
I'm gonna drop more on
Fuzzball loading up an HE RPG, but Scorched Crook is able to get a peek at him through the gaps in the fence and kills him.
Left the main.
We have Duck here prone, still on the south side of those train tracks. Frosty and Jungle getting engaged by Australians on the hill. Frosty unfortunately getting shot. Jungle, freshly revived, gets hit by a Australian machine gunner on the rooftop, who in turn gets killed by Duck sitting on the railroad. Funny how that works, guys. It's like a baton that gets passed from one person to the next. And Duck gets engaged
just got taken out.
and taken out. Pseudonym pushing up to clear out this area, verifying that all of the Russian infantry is down. He sees Frosty and Jungle down, and he will be reviving the ultimate egoist. And it looks like, guys, despite a furious fight, the Russian attack has largely been defeated. In the meantime, the Australian Abrams has respawned and is being called out by the Russian team.
Looks like Abrams has left the main.
Yep,
Abrams marked.
Tank is on Sablya south.
Call out coming in on the Russian command comms that the Australian Abrams is currently located on Sablya, south of the point. It's now just the game teehee inside of this barn here. Gets taken out by the Abrams HE shell. Moist Fusion. Looks like he got killed as well by the Australian infantry. Alright, so it looks like the entirety of the Australian team is now sitting on defense on Sablya. In the meantime, Russians are looking to see if they can organize a renewed offensive. We have a squad here, Squad 3, moving in from the north once again. Let's go follow them for some action. Robzilla.
Rob, fuck ton of infantry in that building you're pushing up on.
Veering into this barn, catches sight of Frost, drops him.
Work here.
They're pushing on the west side of it.
He rounds that corner. Oh, Russians crossing the street in front of him. Robzilla does catch sight of him.
See if it pans out.
But there's an Australian close to his left side, shooting him, not catching sight of him until the last second. Robzilla is able to get a drop on him, but Squid gets the refag by killing Robzilla.
Hold up, let me read.
Now, with the Australian Abrams available on Sablya to help with the defense, it will be much harder for the 7th Rangers to make any sort of an attack. Oh, and an airstrike coming in right where the Abrams used to be, but the Abrams was able to vacate that area and is not hit by that airstrike. That was pretty close. If the Australian Abrams had sat there for just a few seconds longer, it could have been hit by that airstrike, and that would have been a major pain for the Australian team. Tickets 149 to 161. About a 13 ticket deficit for the 7th Rangers. Still pretty close here. This match has been pretty neck and neck so far. And we're going to take another quick break to look at the second funniest moment to come out of this match. Rain Man, sitting on Fortified Farm, bored to tears, gets a spot on some enemy infantry.
Where? Bravo?
Yep, behind
behind the shack.
Behind a tree, fuck.
Hold on.
We're dead.
I fucking impacted him, don't worry.
God damn.
I'm sorry. I fucking had to do it.
Silence continuing with the persistent recon flights overhead, with Supo and the door gun assisting with spotting and firing that door gun whenever necessary. And it looks like we reached a bit of an impasse here. We have the northern attack from this squad trickling in 1s and 2s, which obviously is not going to see much success, as a single man is not going to be able to overpower this concentration of Australian infantry we have occupying this tree line.
I'm shifting to a more of an extremely active defense with a revisit on the attack.
I don't think we should totally abandon an attack. We gotta keep them thinking about it.
We're just resetting. I can't get in from the angle we're on.
Alright.
Their entire fucking team is there.
So you can see, you can hear over the command comms, the Russian team is currently contemplating their next course of action.
Talk to me.
They're deciding that they need to come up off the attack for the time being, but it's not going to be a full settling at the defense. They're just resetting. The commander squad calling out that the northern avenue of approach very difficult to push at the moment. We have Squad 8 here. Looks like conducting an offense on the backup hab and radio for the Russian team. Let's go take a look at that action.
Mark, going up to our other hub.
I got one guy.
Enemy tank, I've kept it marked accurate, he's still in.
We have Strikers and Vertex playing this ridge on this wheat field. Nasty Nate currently down. Yeah, 5th, lying prone on that rock. Not looking in the right direction to get a spot on Vertex.
Hey Tracer, you got defense here on Fortified.
Vertex might have gotten the spot on him.
The 6th mark, and we can defend the other hab in case they try to do a
launches a GL, but that grenade is long. Might have been better to engage with the rifle.
Yeah, it's get a far
Fifth
satellite to the west.
looks around towards the explosion. He did not hear that grenade launcher shot, apparently. And Vertex moving up on the upper story of this house to try and get a better firing position on Fifth. But those trees are masking him. But Fifth gets engaged from a different angle, it looks like.
I think we're still on attack. They have a UAV above their...
And you can see here Frost getting engaged by Vertex from that window. Haunch might have gotten engaged too. Haunch bandaging and then getting engaged. Vertex making good use of that GL to try and take targets into Deathblade. Poncho vacating that area just in time as those GLs impact the dirt behind him as he runs down to the south across this wheat field. Vertex might have a bead on Ponch though. Oh, and Ponch is able to get shot in the back.
Yeah, they're in super turtle mode right now.
Yes, the Australians are definitely in super turtle mode right now as their entire team is currently on Sablya for the defense. And the Russian team reviving their attack here on the south side of the point. I have a feeling that if the Russian team is able to replicate the earlier offensive they took, but move those follow-on forces a little bit earlier, even if they don't take Sablya, I feel like they may be able to gain a favorable exchange ratio to tip those ticket scales in their favor.
I'll drive you down the Logi. I'll go down the far west side.
And here's something interesting, guys. Right here, south of Sablya, is where that Australian defense radio is. The HAB is up north. Now, of course, we have the Squad 3 lead Kermit and the medic Waffle Lover. Coming in is Solomon King Lat near that radio, standing by to immediately dig it down if it comes under threat. But imagine if that radio were dug down a layer and held hostage so that no new defense radios could be placed. I mean, the Australians could still place a new radio to the north here without any issue. This is a tough problem to solve, guys. The best I think the Russians could hope for is get the radio kill here and get that ticket advantage. 7th, racking their minds for a solution to this problem that they face in front of them right now.
Just took a shot at a fucking lodge or something. Or
of course, a big part of the problem here is not knowing what the ticket comparison is right now, and this game currently at 133 to 136 is so close, guys, so close. Honestly, 7th, if they wanted to, could just turtle on the third point.
Keep hitting the tank with mortars as well.
Yep, they're inbound.
Meanwhile, it looks like the Russian team has locked in on the Abrams. And they have mortar fire coming down on the Australian tank. Oh, and they get a mortar. They get a tank kill with the mortars. The call coming in from the helicopter that the tank is dead. Those mortars were deadly accurate from the 7th Rangers here. That Helo, again, circling overhead, providing constant reconnaissance and intelligence to the Russian team. I hear a machine gun up here. Oh, and it looks like we have the BRDM overwatching this field. Manned by Ocho Cinco and Duck. Ocho Cinco catches sight of Haymaker, misses his shots though.
I got eyes on the HAB.
Grab what you need, man.
Ocho Cinco not quite looking in the correct direction. Oh, looks like he catches sight of Australian infantry. Takes down Hamster.
I killed both of them.
Panic at the disc. Panic at the Frisco it was, and Hamster taken out to the east.
I can't see shit.
I got eyes on the HAB in the open.
Now that BRDM, of course, not having stabilization, it needs to hold stationary in order to be able to engage accurately.
Everywhere.
We can have an already as well.
Gotta go engage the HAB.
Ocho Cinco in that turret, scanning with his optics, trying to get as many kills as possible. Oh, and that BRDM gets hit by a lat. It is currently on fire.
Bail.
Jesus.
That was close here, northwest.
I'm gonna die from this explosion.
Alright, I know one Helo is going to help out Squad 7.
But it looks like both crewmen are able to vacate that vehicle. It is still on fire. If they had decided to go for the repair, I feel like they could have done so, but it is out in the open, so saving themselves is probably the best choice there. But with that Abrams kill, guys, the tickets have flopped in favor of the 7th Rangers. It is 120 to 108. That BRDM, of course, lessening that lead. I'm seeing silence here. Looks like he's been downed. Currently being engaged by the... What is he being engaged by?
Tank is dead 100%. Watch the turn.
Well, I don't know what it was that brought him down initially, but currently mortars are falling on top of him to try and hit that helicopter. They're slightly off target, but it's only a matter of time before the Australian team manages to walk them onto target. Both crewmates, Silence and Sweeper, are dead, and we have Squid with the lat able to finish off that helicopter. And that brings the tickets right back to even, 106 to 107.
Alright, one last push, and then we're gonna fucking fall back, I guess.
You can hear Russian command comm saying that they're going to try one more attack, and then they're going to settle into the defense. Oh, I'm seeing a very concentrated mortar barrage here, right on top of Hamster. Oh, and that is the Australian Hab, guys. So it looks like the Russian team has managed to locate the Australian Hab. They are bombarding it with mortars, which has taken the top off that Hab. So that Hab is no longer spawnable, at least until the Australians manage to dig it back up. And at the same time, here comes a creeping barrage from the Russian team. So with no defense Hab, the Australians will be forced to rely on their rallies to sustain their defense. However, on the map, looks like the Russian team is in position for an attack from the north. However, we have Australian infantry ranging it. Oh no, Squad 5 in the same force as Voxland with a logistics BTR MDM.
We are heading out now.
Voxland's gonna have to be very careful. Now, as much as I'd love to follow this action here, we're gonna go back up north to the main thrust of the offensive coming in from the Russians. I'd say this is the second or third major attack to take place on Sablya, and we will be following the leading edge of the action right from the start this time, with Vertex leading the charge for the 7th Rangers VDV. Looking at the closest defenders, you can see Thomas the Train sitting right up on the roof here. Gives them great sight lines, great fields of fire, but also skylines them, exposes them to being spotted early. Now he does reveal his position, firing a grenade launcher at Slate, the Russian commander there. Not getting the kill, Slate runs for cover before conducting a bandage.
There's enemy infantry here.
Looks like Thomas get eyes on strikers crossing that wheat field. Again, not able to get the kill, but Vertex is right underneath him in this house. Here's that grenade launcher fire, so he will be moving in behind him to try and pick up that kill. Oh, but Thomas hears the footsteps and is able to take down Vertex as he pushes up towards that rooftop. And here comes Pancake Man, and right behind him is Jungle Snot as Thomas's position has been locked in. So this Russian infantry will be looking to try and get him. So a Russian grenade launcher smoking off that rooftop, breaking Thomas's lines of sight. Thomas can hear footsteps outside. Oh, Slimer getting GL'd, as he seems to have not gotten the memo that there is an enemy on this rooftop. Pancake Man and Jungle Snot coming up. So that smoke masking their advance as they push up onto the roof. Jungle Snot vaults up. He's now on top of the shingles with Thomas.
Slate, if we can take this, I can drive this Logi into the point.
Oh no!
I got him.
Thomas the Train had his GL equipped. Completely helpless as Jungle Snot runs up to his face and takes this time to get that kill. And this advance will be able to continue on.
We're gonna continue to HE on the south.
And the Russian mortars calling out over command comms that they will be continuing HE on the Australian Hab. Let's take a look if it's still there.
Hab's close to the point, send him straight in.
So I'm not seeing anything. It looks like to me that the Australians have successfully managed to take down that HAB, and they will probably be looking to place down a new one. Oh no, that is... I can't tell, guys. Is that HAB still there? I don't think it is. Best commentator, am I right? Alright. A flood of blue Russian infantry coming in.
I think they're gonna counter you from the north.
Strikers pushing up on this house with its dizzy.
Both down.
But the Australian occupants are already down.
Yep.
Here we have T-Dub pushing up to try and attack those attackers. Oh, we have a plethora of Russian infantry inside this house. He runs up, takes out Slimer. Ooh. And it looks like he was able to take out Lutz, but Pancake Man, the medic, standing in that line, prone in that corner, was able to take him out. So he'll be taking a beat here, making sure that there are no more follow-on forces before he moves for the revive. But it looks like we have more Australians pushing up just outside the house. Haymaker, he'll be moving up on that doorway. Pancake Man easily takes him out. Even more Australians now running up on that doorway. Pancake Man can hear all of their footsteps. You'll have to be wary of grenades. The ultimate egoist.
If I can get one guy back to me,
a very quick GL peek from the ultimate egoist to take out Pancake Man. That was probably just outside the minimum arming range of the 40mm there. Honestly, pretty good solution. I don't hate it. And here we are with strikers of Berserker Squad holding down the first floor of a house in Sablya. Whatever happened with Voxelin, guys? We saw him alone in a lobby.
Foxtrot 899.
And
they're here waiting. Fuck me, dude.
We
struggle that thing or sit in the vehicle.
And we just saw the outcome of that.
I'm gonna try to scuttle it.
So it looks like Voxelin was able to survive long enough to place down a radio with that BTR MDM, but he got walked up on by infantry. Amzel, however, luckily was on hand to help him take out that infantry, and Amzel will be able to dig down that radio to ensure those tickets are not lost. And I'm seeing a big mosh pit of red and blue as Australians and Russians slaughter each other in close quarters combat. Cool guy just above Duck, who is currently in this dugout, holding position, making sure he stays alive.
Right next to you.
That mortar bombardment makes it very difficult for him to move around. We have a 3-man element, Fuzzball, It's Dizzy, and Slate inside this house. Now, here the tickets look even, but one thing to consider is that you do have a lot of Russians who are currently downed. So the reality is that the ticket count is going to be more in the Australians' favor than at first appears, because if this attack fails, all of those casualties will be forced to give up, losing their team 1 ticket each.
Royal News Radio South, they just waited for me to place it down before shooting.
And it looks like that southern radio...
We needed an attack fob.
Did we not sub 100? No, not sub 100 tickets.
We weren't sub 100 at the time.
And unfortunately for the Russian team, it looks like this radio was pushed by more Australian infantry, and it has been put on bleed. Absolutely devastating for the Russians, as although the tickets have been even, losing this radio is going to be the lethal blow that secures the win for the Australians, is my take. And as the circumstances get desperate, Fuzzball finds himself fighting tooth and nail to defend a house in Sablya. And we have a final holdout here of Russians inside this house.
Got one. Fuck.
I can never move around comfortably inside buildings with the camera.
Coming to you, I'm bleeding. I'm gonna save my single bandage.
Alright, copy. I need someone to watch the stairs.
Yeah, keep watching, keep watching. I gotta reload, and then I'll watch.
Fuzzball on bleed. Gets his medic, It's Dizzy, to bandage him.
Did they take the radio or did we? They took it.
Saving his last remaining bandage for a more dire emergency. Alright, and it looks like that southern radio from the 7th has finally been destroyed. That is a 20-ticket loss, guys, meaning the tickets are now 66 to 86. If it weren't for that one radio, it'd be even, but that radio is proving to be the decisive element in this match.
Be used as needed, but with 65 tickets.
So the Rangers, 7th Rangers, left with another difficult position to make, whether to continue with the attack or to settle for the defense. It sounded like they were intending to settle down for the defense. But are they going to move through with that original plan? They seem to be getting aggressive here, pushing into Sablya from the north once again.
We gotta be watching our tickets now. Cold-bleeded medics have to earn their fucking paycheck right now.
Call coming over command comms that tickets are the most valuable commodity for the 7th Rangers at this moment. Medics will have to earn their pay, and nobody is allowed to give up unless they bleed out. So this strong point that is being held by Slate, Fuzzball, and Dizzy is now being assaulted by Australians. And it is also proving to be a strong anchor point that the attackers coming in from the north can make use of.
Hey, do we know what
Grenades being thrown down those stairs by the defenders on the upper floor.
We have 15 minutes to come back up.
In the meantime, we have Matt and Moosey projecting fire through those windows into the interior, trying to suppress those defenders while the assault team moves in. Vascavar trying to revive Hamster so that he can have a buddy to push up those stairs with him.
Get into supply if you're around. We're taking it.
Rockets flying back and forth. Looks like Matt Moosey and K-Drake were both able to be taken out by the defenders. Fuzzball fighting his heart out. Frost is left here inside, not inside, behind this tent. Glover is just outside this doorway now.
Alright, copy. Area. Frosty.
Glover spots Frost and engages him. Does not secure the kill. It is now Hamster up here.
The radio has to be in that building I just marked.
Go patch Slate.
Slate watching that staircase. Looks like he was able to get the kill on Vascavar, who tried pushing up those stairs. The medic gets dizzy, making sure to patch up Slate while Slate keeps his gun up. Vascavar getting revived, but immediately killed. Into dead Slate. Oh, but Slate gets hit in the head by Hamster, who sprays while peeking through that doorway, and is now It's Dizzy left alone to hold that staircase. Stress and intensity running high as this match nears its conclusion. Fuzzball watching that staircase as It's Dizzy drags Slate back for the revive. Hamster holding on the first floor.
Everybody's got to close.
Taking it very cautious. He peeks up that staircase, does not see anybody. Oh, and he looks to clear the rest of the first floor. I don't know where he got engaged from though. And tickets are now 59 to 68. The Rangers are already closing the gap right now. What was a 20-ticket gap is now reduced to 10. If they can keep this up, they may be able to bring this back, guys.
Keep it up.
While all that craziness is going on, here is Annis Canada once again running the logistics needed to keep those Russian mortars firing on Sablya. You can see him unload yet another full load of ammo on Fortified Farm. And as he's fond of saying, amateurs talk tactics, professionals talk logistics. And we see that Sablya is neutralized. The 7th Rangers are capturing the point.
4 chevs up.
In the meantime, the point is currently being captured by the 7th Rangers. Sablya is being captured by the Russian team. Goal, the Australians are losing it. So now, with a 4 chevron capture on the objective, the 7th Rangers will have to hold and stay alive to maintain that 4 chevron cap. Smoke everywhere right now as both sides are scrambling, fighting tooth and nail. The capture has been reduced to 2 chevrons, but the 7th Rangers are still capturing it. Goal, counterattacking as fast as possible to get some kills and reduce that cap, get more bodies on point. Tickets are now 59 to 55 as Goal is desperately trying to throw more bodies to prevent the capture of Sablya. Probably the correct decision, as if they lose that point, it is game over for them, almost guaranteed. but the 7th Rangers have regained the ticket lead. So even if they don't quite manage the cap, if they keep up this momentum, the cap has been stalled. The Sprut is up here now supporting the infantry very close. Goal now retaking the cap. Fight.
Buildings, can we get danger close?
Here we are back in this strong point. The strong point that has been the anchor for the Russian team. Still holding strong as ever.
Those mortars get inside. We're gonna hit that.
Neighboring building over here with Duck, Slimer, Frosty, and Sweepo.
Damn, that's fucked up.
Is being pushed by more Australian infantry. Those Australians on the first floor with the defenders on the second. Looks like Haymaker will be pushing up those stairs, but Duck,
danger close mortars
completely unaware.
Danger close southeast.
Oh no. Duck gets gunned down. Slimer getting shot in the back too as he was unable to react fast enough. A failure of security. Army comes in behind Haymaker, however, and is able to finish him off. Hopefully.
If you're not on the point, get on the point.
Tickets are now 59 to 49 with a 10 ticket balance in favor of the 7th Rangers. Goal, throwing everything they have. It looks like the cap on Sablya is going in neither direction. It is neutralized, but the 7th Rangers are currently about a third captured. Holy smokes, guys, this game is coming down to the wire. The game Teehee and Beardan pushing up on this house. You can see smoke grenades coming out from the other side of the road. It's just on the other side. We have Australian infantry. I'm Not Joel goes down. The screen is shaking so much I can't read these names, guys. APOC trying to bandage as those Russian mortars come in. Danger close on friendly positions, but extremely well positioned to take out that Australian infantry. It's a withering fire here.
I'm gonna get PTSD, man!
Ready? I'm not. Oh, we need bodies on the floor. I'll you guys up.
T-Dub is able to take out Cold, it looks like, who moves up to try and revive some of his bodies on the outside of this building. However, Absolute Death is waiting for him in the exact same spot that Pancake was in before. Holding that doorway, is able to take out T-Dub. Tickets are 55 for 45. Those mortar... Okay, let's take a step back. I need to take a breather, guys. Let's get out of that mortar bombardment because I can't hear myself talk. Those mortars impacting right next to the camera. I'm seeing so many bodies, so many nameplates. A Dark Sniper is taken out by a grenade inside that building.
Move everybody to Shabba now.
Sablya looks like it's about to be captured by the 7th Rangers.
Do you want helicopters to move?
Yep.
Those mortars absolutely lethal right now as they're dropping right on top of those Australian positions. Those Australians obviously having to come up from the south.
They're flipping it back.
However, Sablya is now being recaptured by the Australians just as it was on the cusp of being captured by the 7th Rangers. Ticket count is currently 50 to 43.
Wait till you guys take point.
It is a very close game. It now comes down to morale. If one side gets defeated mentally, they will start giving up and completely give up the ticket advantage here. If both sides can stay disciplined, both sides still have a shot here, but as the tickets for the Australian team drops to 38, so it is now 49 to 38. The Rangers with the 10 ticket lead. The cap has again been stalled right now as both sides taking heavy casualties on the point. It looks like the Rangers are occupying the western side with the Australians occupying the eastern side, but those Russian mortars coming in right on top of their positions.
I got already, I'm gonna send it.
The commander has artillery. He is sending it. It will be arriving in 30 seconds. It will be hitting the west side of the point. Commander calls out that he wants his guys to break contact and get inside cover.
45 tickets.
Mossberg and Robzilla scrambling to get inside of this house. Screaming friendly coming in so that he does not get gunned down by his friendlies. Tickets are 46 to 26. The ticket gap has increased as the Rangers are now with the 20 ticket lead. Scorched Crook a fresh wave of Russian infantry. It looks like they're getting revived now. Taking a look at the map, I do not see an artillery bombardment. Not sure where it's coming in from. That may have been an Australian. I'm not sure what that artillery call out from the Russian commander was, guys. But those mortars, completely persistent. Australians trying to push in to clear this house. It looks like Scorched Crook got gunned down by Ocho Cinco as he ran in through that doorway. We have so many bodies, guys, as players who have been downed refuse to give up, tenaciously holding on for the win. Tickets are 44 to 22, very close. We have a fresh wave of respawns coming in from the north side as JC, the Lime, Pancake Man, and Vertex come in from the north. Texas Assassin and Logan's B are rolling in with their spread to provide close support to the infantry. That armor support could be very critical, but it could also be very bad, putting that asset at risk, as if it goes down, that is, I believe, 10 tickets that would be lost with that vehicle. Right now, it's a 24 ticket gap, so it will not completely flip the game.
Keep rolling in.
But it could develop momentum that the Australians and Goal needs to turn this back around.
We got direct impact by mortars. They're already in us.
Got a house here getting pushed. Sweepo holding a doorway, not able to see his enemies through the smoke as Ultimate Egoist gets pushes into him. Who's the defender here? Duck. Oh! Gets taken out by a grenade somehow as Ultimate Egoist also goes down to the same grenade. Not sure what happened there. And it looks like the Australians are able to take and clear this house, and they will be moving on to this neighboring strong point. The absolute anchor of the Russian team, Army of Fools, on that rooftop engaging. We have an RPG going out from Fuzzball into that house. Kobathor going down to that HE rocket. Russian artillery coming down on the south side of the objective. Tickets are 39 to 14. The capture was momentarily going in favor of the Australians, but is now stalled. Both sides will need to maintain their body cam inside the capture zone to make sure that it does not go to the other team.
Heavy push south side.
Heavy push south side getting called out by the Russian team. And it looks like all of the Australians that are currently in play are all on the point. There are no more reinforcements coming as they are unable to give up and respawn to throw more bodies at the point. They are down to 11 tickets. The Russian team, in the meantime, is down to 39 tickets. They are currently holding their positions, holding strong, maintaining their positions. Australians in this neighboring house also doing the same, doing their best to stay alive. They are clustered up as they conduct revives here, trying to get outside of the lethal target zone of that Grenadier hitting that room. You can see Solomon Kane pulling security as Chad Guevara conducts revives and heals. Up on that staircase, so it looks like they suspect that there are Russians on the second floor here, and that they're concerned that they're able to push in. And that is GG, guys. 38 to 0. The Russian team, VDV 7th Rangers, takes the win there. But guys, I'm just gonna say this: for a long time, it looked like Goal was gonna take the win. That was insanely close. Guys, that was fucking insane.